Hi, successful people. Welcome to Ask Brainy. How to have self-control and be the master of your life. If you know how to control your temptations, emotions, and behaviors, the world will be your oyster. Study after study confirms that if we just find the way to strengthen our self-control, our lives will become so much better. We'll eat healthier, exercise, won't overspend, overdrink, or overdo anything that's bad for us. We will be able to achieve our goals much easier, and success will not be a distant chimera anymore. In this video, we will take a look at how self-control works and how to have self-control to live the life you want. Self-control is the ability to resist short-term temptation and to delay immediate gratification so that you can accomplish something much more worthy and better in the future. Self-control is like a muscle. It's not fixed, it can be trained, and you can learn how to improve self-control over time with practice. How to have self-control. Here are some tips. 1. Have something sugary. Studies show that the strength of our self-control is connected to our glucose levels. The brain needs energy to operate, and sweets provide that fuel. Consuming sugary drinks increases blood glucose levels and boosts our worn-down willpower. 2. Develop your internal motivation. Other research on self-control tells us that when we are driven internally to achieve our goals versus by external motivators or to please others, our levels of willpower get depleted slower. 3. Find your why. Closely linked to the above advice is the one about the purpose behind what we do. Using a so-called high-level abstract reasoning can help us practice better self-control, too. For instance, if you want to avoid eating a piece of cake, it's easier to alleviate the temptation if you remind yourself that you want to stay healthy, rather than think how you will just eat a fruit instead. 4. Have a plan in place when temptation comes knocking. This technique is also known as implementation intention, and it simply means going those some what-if scenarios beforehand, so that you can have a strategy when you feel the enticement to stray away from your goal and live a little. For instance, if you want to quit smoking, you may consider bringing some nicotine gum with you when going out. This way, when you see others smoking, you already have a plan in place to combat the cravings. 5. Use your wrong hand. Using your non-dominant hand to do small things such as operating the computer mouse, opening the door, or stirring your coffee are great ways to enhance and exert self-control powers, according to research. Studies tell us that this can also help curb feelings of anger, frustration, and even aggression. After only 2 weeks of practice, there are some noticeable benefits. 6. Focus on one goal at a time. The theory of ego depletion also advises that making a list of resolutions on New Year's Eve is the worst possible approach to improve self-control. Since depletion has a spillover effect and often leaves you exhausted and unlikely to want to do anything more, going after multiple aspirations can only make you frustrated with yourself. Baumeister advises, don't try to quit smoking, go on a diet, and start on a new exercise plan all at the same time. 7. Find a way to earn more money. Coming from a low-income background forces people to live in the now and seek immediate indulgence when possible. In contrast, when someone is better off financially, they are used to being spoiled and may be less tempted to go after instant rewards. And quite often, financially struggling parents are also time poor. 8. Avoid temptation altogether. It's harder to control your urges when you indulge in something, like chocolate, in small ways, rather than cutting it off completely. Goal attainment is all about avoiding temptation, not exercising willpower. When we know something is off limits altogether, we just stop thinking about it over time. 9. Practice. Since willpower is like a muscle, the more we practice, the better we become. While in the short term we may feel depleted, in the long run, we will be able to build the strength and the stamina we need to successfully achieve our goals. 10. Adopt healthy habits. Once we start practicing self-control and engage in healthier behaviors and choices, they will, over time, become habits. When they do, we will no longer need so much willpower, if any, to do that activity. People who are better at self-control also have better habits. When our lives are based on habits, we are less frequently faced with making a decision, which require us to tap into our self-control reservoir. Self-control is one of the biggest contributors to goal achievement and leading a better life in general. However, we also need a motivation to start with and a way to monitor our behavior and progress to accomplish success. To save yourself from the constant drizzles of disappointment with seeing your dreams crushed and burned over and over, take the time to try practicing some self-control. The future you will thank you. You will regularly find videos about investments, motivation, personality development, and many more stuff around the world. If you'd like to get regular updates from our videos, please give us a thumbs up and click the subscribe button right there. Exclamation mark.